Won't you just come my way?
Come in.
Baby, won't you just take your time?
Okay.
Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? I wanted to talk about decentering your children, okay? Decentering children and kids in your life, okay? This is the hardest thing as a person, a mother, right? Especially a single mother. It is the hardest thing in the world because I think the world teaches women that we are supposed to be mothers, right? A lot of women, we're supposed to be nurturers. We're supposed to, that is like the most beautifulest thing a woman can do is be a mother, be, and all of that, right? And I don't even want to just talk about women. I want to talk about families or, just mom and dads, right? I want to talk about how you would need to decenter your children, okay? A lot of the times with kids, they're going to do what their parents, are doing, right? So if you're, right now, you're telling your kids they're going to do a sports right now, that's what they need to do. They need to do this. You're setting the plan, right? So at this point, I would say that you have to have something for yourself, right? You can't, what I've noticed as a single parent, the happiest I've been is the happiest my child has been, if you understand what I'm talking about. Because I'm able to parent, y'all gonna hear something, I believe is a plane going in the air. But the happiest that I've been is the better mother that I've, produced for my child, if you do know what I mean. Like every time that I was just in the best of spirits, my child was doing the best, in school, in just her friendships, everything, right? How can you decenter your children or your child as a person that has children, as a mother, as a father? How can you do that? You have to set up things that are, outside of your children. It seems kind of impossible when you first have a child and when your children are very young, because your conversations is always child focused, and everywhere you go, you're showing people pictures of your child. And, sometimes that can kind of get a little bit overwhelming of you as a parent, because at some point this child is going to graduate from high school, college, it's your child's gonna go to the next level in life to where you're not gonna be as involved. And as they get older, the independency increases and they don't need you as much, right? So a lot of the times women and people have a hard time, after that. Sometimes relationships don't last, marriages don't last after, the children because a lot of women, parents, fathers, they find purpose in their children in life. They feel like, well, there's nothing to do. I was blessed to have my mom and my dad both, they've been married their entire life. They've been each other's lives, right? But when we left and they found themselves a lot of times very bored, and they found out how children focused they were. They were like constantly asking us to bring, when we had children, our children around, and because they wanted to I want to have some noise around. I want to have the kids around, have to worry about what they need, go shopping and do all of that. But I think that was very, very hard for us, because once we left the home, we weren't as connected to them anymore. We had our own lives, we were our own people, we were raised already, we was conquering the world. And it was very, very hard for my parents to be able to just exist without us, without the fact that children existed. You know what I'm saying? It was very hard for them. So I think that is very important to tell people that, to kind of, decenter your children. Children are important, but have things for yourself. Have activities that you love to do. Sometimes meet with your friends, your female friends, male friends, have some me time. This is something that it was very, very hard for me to do. I can't have conversations outside of my child. It's what she did, her latest accomplishment, her latest achievement, something that she's into right now. She's watching this right now. She's doing this. Sometimes it's the hardest thing to step away from the kids, focus on what you need, what you want, what you got going on, who your friends are, what you have adult conversation, grab a drink from time to time. Like, seriously, it's so hard. And then you feel guilty. Like you did something wrong, or you know what I'm saying? You feel guilty because the world teaches people that once you have children, your children have to be your end all be all. And it's time to decenter children, your child is a part of your life, important part of your life. However, you were a person before your children, When you tell kids that, hey, mom's going on a date, if whether you're married or whether mom's gonna do this, they be like, ugh, because they can't even imagine you being an individual without them, without keeping them in the account. Now you have to be boxed in an old person's box. Now you an old person, and when you was young before, thriving, you was the kid, you was out here, you had your parents doing what you do. Now all of a sudden, because you've made them such a focus in your life, that's your identity. No, your child is not your identity. You have other things going. A child is a part of you, but not your end all be all. You have to have certain things, a certain oomph about you. You're not just a person like with a child. You're not just a mother or a father. You're a person. Go out here, have you some fun. Decenter your children. Don't make your children your all in your life. If you're able to have a babysitter, you're able to have somebody watch your kid. Like for me, I'm able to have my parents watch my kids from time to time. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of the people, the babysitters, if you can. If you can afford it, or somebody in your life who's willing to do that. Sometimes it's like you will go to a babysitter if you immediately it's important that you need it, and sometimes you just, whether you need it or not, have a day for you. You shouldn't have like an important job event or an important school event if you're in school, going back to school as a parent, or a staff, like something with your job. Sometimes just have a babysitter because you need some you time. You need to focus on yourself, what you got going on. If you're married, your marriage, you and your husband, and what y'all take vacations without the kids. I found it was the hardest thing for me to unplug myself from my child, and it's because society teaches people that they have to center their life around your child. And no, your child is an important part of your life, important in your life. You as a mother is an identity, or your father, or parents is an identity that you hold, but that's not who you are. Because before your children, you were a whole person. You had, things going on, your likes, your dislikes. You had places that you like to go, things that you like to do, your interests, and your entire life should not be centered around your child, So I think it's very important to decenter your children sometimes, decenter your children in life. Your child can be important, but they don't need to be your end all be all. Some people are prioritizing their relationships, saying that, hey, we have to have strong relationships outside of our children. That's how we're going to make things last. Hey, I have to be a strong individual, amazing individual, love myself outside of being a mother. I have to, I have to have these different things in order for me to thrive in this area. Decenter your children. Your children is an important part of you, but you're not defined by the type of parent or mother or father that you are. Decenter your children. I just think that it's very important in this day and age to teach people to do that, because people are finding out that once the children go off to school, you're committing S, or you're not loving yourself, you're self-harming, you're doing different things because the level of loneliness is just so high in you as a person that you can't, this person has became an intricate part of yourself. I've seen some mothers have almost held their sons to be like their spouse. Single mothers, they going on dates with their sons, they going out, because when you're a single mother, your child tends to be your end all be all, that once they leave, you're like, oh, I'm alone. Or a single father, you should not be depending on your child or depending on, your children to be that for you. You have to be that for yourself, be that within your relationship, if that's what, don't make your children your center focus, because then when they're not picking you and they're picking you, you feel offended. When your kids are picking to go off to college, your kids are picking to hang out with their friends, your kids are picking to exist, to be, then all of a sudden you're upset now. You feel slighted somehow because you chose them. Even though you made that conscious decision to choose them, you chose them in your career, chose them above the things that you wanted to do. Hey, I wanted to go back to school, but I had children. Hey, I wanted to, be a gymnast, but I had children. I wanted to do these different things. You find this where people start living through their children. And when their children are choosing other things, they get upset, because that's what society teaches you. You have to center your children. So then you put your hopes and your dreams and things that you want for yourself into your children. And then when they're not accomplishing success or choosing those things for themselves, you're upset with them. You guys are divided. You guys are having issues because you think that what they could have been what you wanted them to be, what you wanted for them, they didn't want for themselves. You have to stop centering your children in your life, making your children your end all be all. Have something for yourself, because life is still, you're still breathing. Life is still out here. You're still existing. So pick decisions that, help you in your happiness, help you, in your smiles, help you feel good about life, help you, okay? You have to choose yourself. I'm just saying. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I love you guys so much, and bye-bye.